Welcome back to the channel, guys. Once again with a review. This time we're going to be reviewing the Google Pixel. Very popular, on high demand, and here to duke it out with the likes of the iPhone and the S7. So let's find out whether this does it or not, so stay tuned. On the looks department, let's just say that this isn't exactly very inspiring and pushing the boat out there. If you look at it, you're going to say, well, it's been proven design at the back. It looks a bit like an iPhone. Yes, of course it does. If you rub that Google sign out of it, it looks like a HTC A9s or A9. I mean, if you don't know what that looks like, we actually have a review of that. So a link up on the left hand side of the screen here, or on the right if you're looking at it. However, it's practical, let's just say that, because on the left hand side of the device you have the SIM slot for your micro SIM, no expansion here by the way, guys. On the right hand side of the device you have the volume rocker with a nice, very nice pressy feeling to it, and the power button itself has got a different feel to it so you can easily identify it. However, not impressed with the front of the screen. You've got a big chin and a big forehead on the device itself. Today's day and age, surely they could have made that much smaller, or perhaps they could have actually utilized the bottom area here with what they put at the back, which is the fingerprint sensor. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that because I actually find it very uncomfortable to use it that way, having been used to actually pressing it at the front. So at the back you obviously have no recess for the actual camera, because the phone is actually tapered, so it's basically thinner at the bottom versus what it's like at the top, so that way they can actually fit in the camera without having those nasty little camera bumps that you find on all of the other smartphones out there predominantly. And one thing I really don't like is this glass top. It makes it look like you've just gone and grabbed a sticker or like a glass, tampered glass screen protector, half protector, and actually placed it on there. It just looks horrible in my opinion. Other than that, it's not exactly inspiring. Now that we got the looks out of the way, let's talk about the nice stuff. Perhaps we can talk about the screen. The screen here is a 5-inch screen at 1080p. That basically means 1920 by 1080 resolutions. That's 441 pixel density, or otherwise known as PPI. It's multi-touch. It's protected by Gorilla Glass version 4. So basically it's really strong, really responsive. It's very bright. It's not quite as bright as an iPhone, but it's bright enough for everyday use. A couple of things I'm not too particularly happy about is the fact that, let's not forget, as I mentioned, HTC made this phone, just like many other brands typically make their phones for Google. So at the bottom of the device you have what looks like 2 speakers. Unfortunately it's only one, and because of the way it's done, it's not a mesh, it's so easy to block it. You're quite easily just browsing with the phone on portrait mode and you're finding yourself blocking the speaker. That's just terrible. Also, what I don't like is the fact that with all of this space at the bottom of the screen, they had to move the Finger ID to the back. Mind you, it opens your phone really quickly, it's responsive, and you can also use it to bring down the menu. However, why couldn't you just put it on the front of the phone? So here we are with the nice bits of the phone, the bits that I really was excited and looking forward to do, and it's the camera. Like I said to you guys, there's no bump on it. That's because of the way the phone's been shaped. This is a 12.3 megapixel camera with a f2.0 aperture, and this is capable of shooting up to 4K at 30 frames per second. Really, really good. What it has got phase detection, laser autofocus, yes, laser, so be careful, you could use it as a weapon. No, actually, no, you can't. You can't actually use it as a weapon, but you get the idea. What it does is it focuses really, really fast, which is imperative to capture that great shot. And out of all the phones I've reviewed so far, and please do go ahead through my channel and you see all of these phones I reviewed, this is right up there with the iPhone in terms of focusing. You touch on the screen and bang. And that is the difference between having a great shot and a mediocre shot. Also, what it does, got HDR+. Now, we've seen HDR before. If you don't know what it means, it basically stands for high dynamic range. And what the phone will do, it'll take 2 pictures or maybe 3 depending on how the software is being done, and will do an overexposed, underexposed, and they'll stitch them together. HDR Plus takes a step further, and what it will actually do, you'll take pictures before you even press the shutter button to try and empty you getting that great picture. And in most cases it works great. At least in this case, I found it 9 out of 10 times really good. And you can turn it off anyway, which is always quite handy. Along with that, you've got other features like the bokeh effect, which basically take 2 shots and then the background gets blurred. Yeah, very artistic. I'd like to see this on the video mode because that would change the way people make the videos look even better. The front of the phone though, nothing exciting. You've got an 8 megapixel camera, not bad, with an aperture of f2.4. Nothing special there, but you'll still do some good selfies. Now, in my opinion, why you would buy this phone. You probably wouldn't buy it because of its looks. You probably wouldn't buy it because I just burped, and that's not very polite. However, going back on what I was trying to say, you probably wouldn't buy it because of its battery life. You probably wouldn't buy it because of its sound or anything like that. You are going to buy this because Google have done the best Android experience you can have on any other phone. Simple. I must admit, given the fact that I've always been an iOS user, not much of an Android, because I've always felt it didn't quite flow or worked as smoothly as I expected, it was a pleasure using this. Fast, snappy. Some things are a little bit misleading, like the fingerprint on the main screen is a little bit like you think you can use the fingerprint there, but obviously your fingerprint scanner is in the back of the phone. They've introduced the Google Virtual Assistant, which is very much like Siri. In my opinion, probably works better with contextual conversations, like you'll ask it a question and then the second question you'll ask is related to the first one, so you can answer to you in a way that makes sense rather than you having to reconstruct the question. Siri can do this as well, but this actually does it a little bit better. You still have Google cards on the left hand side of the screen when you swipe. The app drawer itself is great because obviously you just pull straight up and it's clean look, it really is, and there's no bloatware, there's no unnecessary stuff, and what that does, it allows you to manage your device how you want it. Also, you have support from Google straight up right off the phone, and you're damn gonna get updates frequently, unlike you're gonna get on any other Android phone. That alone for me makes a big difference. Battery life is also very good, both on the little brother and the big Google Pixel XL. The little one sponsoring a 2770 mAh battery. This will give you a good 5 hours of on-screen usage plus a whole day of standby light usage. I mean, I could probably stretch it farther than that because I've actually been using this as my personal device and found that, yeah, you can easily get a couple of days out of it. On its bigger brother, having a 3450 mAh battery, I would suspect you're probably going to get more, but we didn't test that. However, fear not, because actually we have USB Type-C, and this will actually allow you to do quick charge, meaning that from completely discharged to a 50% charged, it takes about 30 minutes. So either way, is all thumbs up. I do, however, also want to praise Google in this particular instance, or should I say Google/HTC, which is who actually built this phone, for the standby, because this device actually has really good, I mean, typically Androids, and I'm going to stress this across all brands that use Android software, the standby time on them typically is terrible. I mean, but now they're getting really close to the likes of Apple with their standby times. It's really refreshing to see. So the conclusion of this, of course, you're probably thinking, oh, here you go, he's a fanboy from Apple, he's probably going to say that this is rubbish. Well, actually, not at all. What I will say, guys, is my usual. I'm very money conscious and I don't like overspending for something that perhaps doesn't quite meet the market. I do think that this is a little bit on the expensive side. In terms of design, I have to say Google didn't push the boat far enough. They used HTC to build their phones, and HTC just went, hey, let's make it look like all of our phones. And that isn't particularly a bad thing, but it's a new phone and it's going to be a premium phone, so push the boat out, do something different. You know, we're talking about bezel-less phones nowadays, and this has a massive chin, massive forehead. It just doesn't work. So if you can overlook the fact that the design on it is not inspiring, and you're looking for the Android experience, I strongly, strongly recommend this to be the device for you. So, as always, guys, if you like the video, press the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you have feedback and you think I missed something and you'd like to know a bit more about this or about that, again, hook me up on the comments below. I'm happy to answer questions. And don't forget to subscribe, it's free. Share with your friends. This channel grows thanks to your support. So please do continue subscribing. See you in the next one.